social media, those videos claiming to instantly get rid of bags under your eyes. Well, today we're going to see one for ourselves and let you be the judge. It's called Plexiderm, and lifestyle expert Annette Figueroa is here to tell us why she says this one is for real.
This one is for real, and I'm so excited. We even have a video, and you'll notice the model has bags underneath his eyes and some sagging, and all he uses is a small amount on a clean, dry face, and that's how easy it is.
All right, what's the active ingredient?
Okay, so it's silicates that are minerals found in shale rock, and what it does is it tightens and lifts the appearance of bags underneath your eyes, and as little as 10 minutes, no prescriptions, and very little effort. Even watching the video, this is a real, it's a model, but it's a real guy with real bags underneath his eyes. And I did this to my father. We were at home. I had the timer on, and we were screaming. 4 minutes, 34 seconds, completely gone.
My real true opinion is holy words I can't say on camera. These lines bother me. They really do. And this is absolutely unbelievable. I mean, I could feel it just lifting my skin. It was amazing. It feels good. Feels great. Looks even better.
And not only does it work on the bags, it works on the appearance of crow's feet, fine lines, and wrinkles. So it targets all those problem areas.
So this would be a daily thing, or
it absolutely could be a daily thing. But the way you want to do it is you want to have a clean, dry face. You use a small amount because it's so powerful. You have high school reunions, you have events you want to go to, you want to look years younger. This is it.
At our $14.95 price, it's the best way to try Plexiderm and see it work after your first application. Your solution is at plexidermtrial.com or call the number on your screen.
The weather, it's something that affects us all every day, from sunny to severe and anything in between. This is why we first alert.
Thanks for watching News 12 on your side. Parker's Kitchen is proud to partner with Wrdw Project to help empower veterans and their families. When you round up at Parker's, we'll make sure to match 25% of your donation to support local veterans.
Live from Augusta, you're watching News 12 live at 5.
Live at 5, it is a multi-agency effort as South Carolina crews are up against the massive Carolina forest wildfire in Horry County. Right now, the state's Forestry Commission says the fire is only about 30% contained and has burned around 1,300 acres total by tonight. Good evening. I'm Meredith Anderson. There is a real-time map online. We'll post it on our website showing locations of nationwide wildfires. And the most pressing one, the one right now, is in the state of South Carolina in Horry County, just 3 hours from here, so not far at all. South Carolina National Guard aviation units have dropped more than 59,000 gallons of water on the fires so far. You're getting a live view now over Myrtle Beach, where the massive fire first erupted Saturday. The state's Forestry Commission says the wildfire is 1,200 acres. That's equivalent to a few hundred football fields. Ashley Lindstrom is in the Carolina forest where things stand now.
Authorities say no homes were destroyed by this fire, but take a look at just how close the Carolina forest fire got to this house. The flames were so close to their backyard, it melted their fence. Here's a look at Tuckahoe Road in the Walker's Woods community in the Myrtle Beach area, as small fires are still smoldering, creating thick smoke through the Carolina forest area, as well as near Highway 501 and Highway 31. Horry County Fire Rescue is assisting regional and state crews, and forestry is assisting with plows and cutting lines to work toward full containment. I've also seen and heard several planes and helicopters in the area as more water drops are expected through today. As we take a look again at this melted fence here, the good news is that the folks that had to evacuate are back allowed in their homes, and the American Red Cross shelter at the Carolina Forest Recreation Center has now closed. For Local News Live, I'm Ashley Lindstrom with WMBF News at Carolina Forest.
Here at home, fire crews are on high alert. Not only are they watching what's going on near the coast, but they've also had their hands full over the past several days as well. There were 2 brush fires in Augusta Friday that put neighborhoods on high alert and even damaged one home. Over in Aiken County, there were at least 4 fires, including one in North Augusta on Knox Avenue. There was also another one near Graniteville Elementary, one on Herndonderry Road, and 2 acres were scorched on Quartz Lane. Your Sydney Hood joins us now live at 5 from Milledgeville Road in Augusta, where a brush fire has burned for several hours before crews could get it under control. Sydney, you've spoken to several local fire stations today. What did they tell you about those conditions?
Well, simply put, do not burn. That is the message they are trying to put out to the public right now, because as we saw out here on Friday, it doesn't take a lot for a small fire to turn big. Now, as we've already mentioned, firefighters on both sides of the river are busy right now, and they have been for several days now. I'm going to use these Graniteville fire photos as an example here. You're looking at photos from a brush fire the volunteer fire department responded to on Saturday. The fire chief tells me they aren't out patrolling areas looking for anyone burning, but if they've received a call, they'll send folks out to put the fire out, and then they'll educate the public on the burn ban that's in place.
Take a lot for a fire to start, especially with the drought. The grass is already dry because it's dormant. We had some very high winds Saturday, so it spread from, I think, 3 different yards and then into the woods and caused some damage to his privacy fence.
Now, that burn ban is for South Carolina, but over here in Georgia, we're just a stone's throw away. And between the dry air and low humidity, our local firefighters, they are on high alert right now and are really urging folks to not burn, especially in South Carolina, where that burn ban is in effect.
All right, thanks for that, Sydney. Also, a good reminder, smokers, do not throw your cigarettes out the window. That could ignite a fire as well. As we keep an eye on fire conditions in the Palmetto State, your first alert Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale is warning us about an elevated fire risk right across our area right now. Riley.
Yeah, for the entire CSRA right now, we do have a high fire danger, a combination of just very low relative humidity and a lot of dry fuel still on the ground, since we haven't seen necessarily a ton of rain over the last couple of weeks. So the high fire risk continues today. As we head in towards our Tuesday and Wednesday, we're expecting the wind threat to pick up, and we do have a first alert in effect Wednesday for a potential strong line of thunderstorms that we'll be pushing through. These are the alerts we have in currently. This is the elevated fire risk across all of our counties except for Jenkins, Screven, and Allendale. So anywhere across the area, it's not ideal to burn. Remember, the entire state of South Carolina does have that burn ban ongoing, and we actually do have one controlled burn that we have our tower cam pointed at here just over the Thurman Dam. So this is pointing towards northern McDuffie County, southern Wilkes County, where there's actually close to a 450-acre hazard reduction burn ongoing there near Clarksville Lake. You can see that smoke plume there from our tower cam. We're at 63 degrees this afternoon. Wind's pretty calm, so that is the one benefit today, is that there's not a ton of wind out there, so hopefully anything that starts doesn't spread super fast. But we do have a little bit of some smoke just close to the surface here. Not very high concentrations for most of us here around the CSRA, but high pressure's in control. That's why our wind threat is fairly low today. But as this moves offshore, our next storm system moving across the plains tomorrow, and that wind will start to pick up. Luckily, our air quality looks okay. We're actually running at a green level here in Augusta, but you can see over at Myrtle Beach, still dealing with that Carolina forest fire. They unfortunately have a red unhealthy air quality index out there today. Still very low relative humidity, down below 25%, so this is where the fire danger comes into play. So still try not to set any fires for the rest of tonight, or really the next couple of days. Temperatures will be in the 50s and 40s this evening. Have a look at that first alert in effect Wednesday for you in just about 10 minutes.
All right, thank you, Riley. Live at 5 continues with an arrest after a deadly hit and run. The suspect here, Terry Sizemore, turned himself in earlier today. It was in the death of 14-year-old Faith Williams that happened Friday. He is charged with hit and run involving a death and is being held at the Aiken County Jail. This evening, a memorial lies in her honor on Augusta Road, where this incident happened. SLED agents say she died Friday night while riding on a dirt bike. It's not clear whether she died from a dirt bike crash that flew her onto Augusta Road, or whether she was killed by a car that left her at the scene, possibly after hitting her. Meanwhile, a southbound white sedan hit something, damaging the right front end of the car, and left the scene. Coming up, when Live at 5 continues, your Audrey Dickherber has more on this incident. She's been digging into it all day for us. A bill designed to prevent government overreach and protect individual liberties during emergencies once again has traction at the State House, but some fear if it's implemented, it could end up causing more harm than good. Your South Carolina State House reporter Mary Green explains.
A bill called the Medical Informed Consent Act was filed in the Senate in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Among its provisions, it would prohibit employers in South Carolina, including private companies, from requiring their workers receive any type of vaccination in order to be hired or to keep their jobs.
Employers should have a right to be able to tell you can have to wear steel-toe boots from 7 to 5. But you can take those steel-toe boots off as soon as you get in your car and walk home, put on flip-flops. Once they make you stick that experimental jab in your body, it's over.
The bill's lead sponsor, Republican Senator Shane Martin, says this is geared toward the COVID vaccine and other type of novel vaccines, as he described them. Martin also claimed it would not change existing vaccination requirements for K-12 students to attend school. But pediatricians say they read it differently and believe this would infringe on those school shot mandates for diseases like polio, measles, and chickenpox. So they asked Martin to make that more clear. Pharmacists also took exception with part of the bill that would limit their ability to refuse to fill prescriptions except under very narrow circumstances.
Now, I would equate this to turning pharmacy into a vending machine. You put in your insurance card, and just because you got a prescription, it spits it out. There's no protection of the patient.
This bill would also make some changes to the state and the Department of Public Health's abilities to respond in emergencies. Last year, these provisions drew opposition from some, including Governor Henry McMaster. A spokesman for McMaster told me the governor still does not believe this legislation is necessary. Reporting from the State House, I'm Mary Green.
There is another hearing on this bill scheduled for this Wednesday at the State House, where amendments are expected to be proposed, but no more public testimony will be taken. The bill is still several steps away from reaching the governor's desk at this point, and of course, we'll keep you posted. Nearly a month later, search and rescue crews continue to scavenge Lake Oconee after 2 boaters went missing there. Where the search efforts stand now, coming up. Riley.
We have an elevated fire risk the rest of today, and then Wednesday we have issued a first alert. Going to be a windy and wet middle of the week. I have an update for you just after the break.
Time and temp, brought to you by your First Alert weather team. Introducing the First Alert Radar Network.
With up to 10 times the resolution of other local radars and technology that can pinpoint right down to your street.
First just got faster.
Jack Shepherd open together. That's all 9s.
You're invited. The Rooms to Go anniversary sale is going on now. So get ready to save big on beautiful furniture with interest-free financing until January 2030. Yes, 2030. Shop amazing styles, incredible room packages, all at great anniversary sale prices, plus special bonus buys. That's right, great sale prices and interest-free financing until January 2030. You get both. Come on. The Rooms to Go anniversary sale is going on now.
I look at her and I see my future. She is the promise that gives meaning to each new day. Her love holds us close and guides us. She is, and always will be, my everything. I celebrate her with a jeweler that I trust. And that's Windsor.
Now, your First Alert weather with Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale.
Welcome back, folks. Take a look at I-20 just outside of our building. We have a lot of sun this afternoon. Actually, it's a fairly nice day for us. High temperatures hitting near 60 degrees. We do have one controlled burn we're looking at here. This is actually in northern McDuffie County, the western branches of Clarksville. You can see that smoke plume there on the horizon. That's actually close to a 450-acre controlled burn going on there in the western branches of Clarksville Lake. So if you see some smoke up there, it's likely from that fire. 63 degrees, winds fairly calm. The air is very dry. Dew points right now actually down into the teens. So that's adding to that fire danger out there the rest of today, just leading to very low relative humidity. If you're heading out for the rest of this afternoon into this evening, you are going to stay dry, so looking good for any dog walks out there. And luckily, our air quality has improved a good bit across the region, despite still a little bit of smoke there with some of those controlled burns. Now, heading into tonight, early tomorrow morning, it is going to be a chilly start to our Tuesday. We'll wake up anywhere from the mid to upper 30s. That'll be right around sunrise, so if you got that early morning commute, definitely going to need that jacket the first first part of the day. Now, as we head home tomorrow, actually going to be a very nice end to our Tuesday. Expecting high temps to be a little bit warmer for us, getting just a touch above normal, hitting the low to mid 70s across the region. Should be really nice out there for your Tuesday. But tomorrow we're going to start noticing increasing clouds. It's going to start getting pretty breezy later into the day Tuesday, and then we are expecting a strong front to bring us some thunderstorms Wednesday morning. Behind those storms, still very windy. Gusts 30 to 40 miles per hour will be possible even outside of thunderstorms heading in towards our Wednesday afternoon. Now, as far as this severe weather threat, right now we're anywhere from a marginal to a slight risk. You can see that highlighted there for our Wednesday there, far right part of your screen. That yellow, that slight risk, that's where the conditions look most favorable for that severe weather to occur, and most likely in the southern and eastern CS area. The reason is those storms will time out a little bit later into the morning hours for those locations and possibly just a touch more energy. Now, here's a look at the rain chances for your Wednesday. You can see they are going to be highest between, I would say, 6 and 10 a.m., starting in our western counties first, moving through the CS area by around the middle of the morning, 6, 8 a.m., and as we get towards the lunchtime, most of that should be clear of the eastern CSRA. So this is going to be a good little window, quick moving line of thunderstorms. But remember, even past the storms later Wednesday afternoon, still going to be pretty windy out there. Let's jump ahead towards tomorrow. So for your Tuesday, it is still going to be a little bit breezy. Maybe some gusts 30 plus later into the afternoon. Warm up nicely to the low 70s, and there may be a stray shower or two out there for your Tuesday afternoon. Now, once we get into early Wednesday morning, that's when this line of thunderstorm activity is starting to show up. The leading edge of that line is where you're going to see your strongest winds, maybe potentially seeing those strong gusts 40 to 60 miles per hour. So that'll be early Wednesday morning. But once that clears out, even by later Wednesday afternoon, once the storms are well clear of the area, we still have these gusts close to 40 throughout the day. So that's why we have issued a first alert. Want to make sure you're taking the time over the next day, day and a half to just secure those loose items around your home. As we head to Thursday, the wind's not going to calm down. Still gusts up to 30 miles an hour through Thursday afternoon, but finally a little bit calmer day by Friday.
All right, we'll take it. Thanks, Riley. The search for a missing Atlanta teacher and track coach is being scaled back. Divers and cadaver dogs will no longer be used to search Lake Oconee, but deputies will still search the shoreline daily. Gary Jones went missing 23 days ago while boating with his fiancée, Spelman College professor Jocelyn Wilson. Her body was pulled from the water a day after they went missing. Jones's shoes washed ashore and his wallet was found in the boat. The head coach of Appalachia High School is stepping down. It comes 6 months after a deadly shooting at the school took the life of one of his assistant coaches. In the Post, Coach Mike Hancock says he has been struggling with PTSD, anxiety, grief, and depression. The suspected shooter is charged with 4 counts of murder. His father is charged with involuntary manslaughter, second-degree murder, and cruelty to children. Georgia daycares could soon be required to have anti-choking devices on hand if a bill in the State House is passed. However, the devices are not recommended by any major medical associations, nor are they approved for use by the FDA. The bill has been introduced almost a year after Jamal Bryant Jr., a 16-month-old in Brunswick, died after choking on a watermelon seed. The American Association of Pediatrics warns against using the anti-choking devices.
Premature to regulate, to require a device in daycares that's not yet been FDA approved, that's not yet recommended by the American Heart Association. There may come a time when these devices are approved, are recommended, are the gold standard, and at that point, then it would be potentially the right thing to do.
A rep from the AAP did speak out against the devices at that House Education Subcommittee meeting, and the bill has been tabled for now.
First Alert Radar, powered by Jim Hudson Automotive Group. Mix and match your McDonald's faves, from the iconic Big Mac to a juicy 10-piece chicken McNuggets to the classic filet of fish. Grab any 2 for just $6. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
At Breaks for Less, you
Mix and match your McDonald's faves, from the iconic Big Mac to a juicy 10-piece chicken McNuggets to the classic filet of fish. Grab any 2 for just $6. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Across America, high school sports prodigies are now attracting the attention of companies with some pretty deep pockets. But our national investigative team found getting one of those lucrative deals isn't so cut and dry. A checkerboard of rules prevents students in some states from even being considered. Here's Chris Nakamoto.
At the age of 18, Richie Clemente has already won 4 state championships and a spot in Louisiana history books.
Pretty cool. It's a cool feeling whenever you search on my name and it says first athlete, regardless of sport, to get an NIL deal.
Deals from his NIL, which stands for name, image, and likeness, did not come easy. His devotion to the sport keeps him disciplined and helps him rake in a little extra spending cash doing what he loves.
Man, that's good.
With multiple NIL deals and others still rolling in, Clemente's net worth is still being tallied at his young age. But he did share some deals amount to 5 figures, as companies pay him to use and be seen with their products.
Wherever I'd go, I'd be like, hey, can you follow me on Instagram? I'll follow you back. So that's kind of how I built my Instagram page, and that's how most companies find me, actually.
For Clemente, the money gives him an opportunity to focus on practice and becoming a better wrestler, instead of working a minimum wage job. NIL deals for high schoolers are a relatively new concept, first surfacing a year after the NCAA began allowing deals for college athletes in 2021. Our national investigative team looked at high school NIL rules across America and found a few dozen states allow it for high school athletes. A handful specifically ban students from receiving money for their name, image, and likeness. Dr. Carissa Niehoff is the CEO of the National Federation of High School Associations.
Can high school kids engage in NIL contracts? Absolutely. The difference for us is that they should not do it while representing their high school. They're not professionals. They're amateurs. They don't own that high school jersey. They own their name, image, and likeness.
She says the trickle-down effect from the college level to high schools is real.
Very different from the collegiate level, where those student athletes are really looking for professional experiences and engagements and contracts and big dollars.
And so together we made a decision as a family and had 30 days to move and kept our place in Missouri and moved to California.
Jill McIntyre left her home state of Missouri, which at the time did not allow high school NIL deals, so her daughter, Jada Williams, a talented point guard, could attend a school in California, which allowed Williams to become one of the first female high school basketball players to sign a national NIL deal. The deals continued rolling in for Williams, as her talent came with a shining spotlight from revered recruiters. Williams' move out west set her up for success. To date, she continues to rake in thousands of dollars in NIL deals from big companies like Spalding and Gymshark.
Just an opportunity of a lifetime to start something and be a part of something bigger.
The move put Williams in a good spot to get college offers. She now plays for the University of Arizona in Tucson.
When I say the stars align, they really aligned.
While moving isn't feasible for most high schoolers just looking to play for fun, one common theme here is the heavy parental involvement for both Richie Clemente and Jada Williams. Their support structure sets them up for success in the sports they play. For a teen far developed beyond his years, Clemente is already in the process of pioneering the unforeseen.
One goal I have, I actually just wrote my 10-year life plan, and one goal that is on there is to be on the Greco-Roman world team in the next 10 years.
Chris Nakamoto, on your side.
Some ambitious kids there. While some states leave NIL deals to the high school athletic associations, several have passed legislation or are currently in the process of doing so. We're back in a bit.
Life isn't a whisper. It's a roar. It's about getting your hands dirty, taking risks that thrill, and planning the adventure that awaits the next day. Life is a precious, playful thing, which means it's our job to explore it, to nurture it, and preserve it. But also, to let loose and enjoy it. Riverbank Zoo and Garden. Live a wild life.
Welcome back, folks. If you are heading out this evening, we do look to stay dry. Should stay fairly clear as well as far as sky conditions go. But cloud cover will start to increase heading into tomorrow morning. We're going to wake up upper 30s to near 40 degrees right at daybreak. So meeting that jacket heading out to the bus stop. Heading home, though, we are expecting a warm afternoon, most likely low to mid 70s as we head in towards our Tuesday afternoon. But remember, heading into tomorrow, especially Wednesday, our wind is really going to be picking up. Haven't had much of a wind factor out there today. Generally staying less than 10 miles an hour so far this afternoon. Once we get into tomorrow, especially later into our Tuesday, that wind does pick up, say between 10 to 20 miles an hour. And then as these storms do approach early Wednesday morning, we're talking sustained wind well over 20, getting close to 30 in a few spots. Remember, those gusts will be much higher. So that's why we have issued a first alert for your Wednesday. As we head to Thursday, we're back to generally sunny skies and then more wind heading into the weekend.
All right, thanks, Riley. That's it for us for this part of Live at 5. We're next with Wrdw.
This is not you.
It's not me.
Roof? Trust Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale for your first alert.
Wrdw Warrior Project is proud to partner again this year with Parker's Kitchen to help empower your community's post 9/11 veterans, heroes, and their families. Thank you, Parker's Kitchen, for your commitment.
You're watching News 12 Live at 5. Continues.
Well, tonight, a community mourns the sudden death of a Warrenville teenager after a hit-and-run crash Friday night. This happened on Augusta Road, where authorities say 14-year-old Faith Williams was a passenger on a dirt bike riding on the sidewalk.
That's when the dirt bike hit a mailbox around 6:20 or so that evening, sending the bike out onto the road. Authorities say a vehicle traveling south then hit something in that roadway. Now, it's unclear whether that was the bike or something else, but then drove off. Thanks for joining us. I'm Meredith Anderson.
And I'm Will Rio. Now, authorities say that driver, Terry Sizemore, has turned himself in. He's being held on a charge of hit and run involving a death, according to jail records.
Your Audrey Dickherber joins us live at 5 from Augusta Road, near where that crash happened. And Audrey, thankfully, a suspect is in custody tonight, but that doesn't bring back the 14-year-old and the hurt that that family is experiencing.
Yeah, and I saw camera footage of what happened in it. You can see the accident, but we decided not to show it. And you can also hear the driver of the dirt bike in his emotional response. All of this has left the community, family members, and friends heartbroken. Now, a memorial has been made in Faith's honor with flowers, a teddy bear, and a wooden sign from her room put there by her mom. A cross was also painted on the road where it all happened on Augusta Road. A couple of people even paid a visit to the memorial earlier today. This morning, an arrest was made, but as Faith's family starts to get more answers, it doesn't make this loss any easier.
She was loved. She was a loving person. She's a great kid in a bad situation. Wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, and her dad says he's not mad at the driver of the dirt bike and that Faith was known for being loving and making other people happy.
Just so sad. Thanks so much, Audrey, for following this.
Yeah, thoughts and prayers are certainly with that family here tonight. Thanks again, Audrey.
Well, we are underneath an elevated fire risk, prepared for a very windy Wednesday, and that potential for severe weather will be possible early in the morning. We'll have much more on this forecast for you coming up in just about 10 minutes.
All right, thanks, Riley. And tonight, fire crews continue to battle the Carolina forest fire, now just 35% contained, according to the South Carolina Forestry Commission. The fire started over the weekend and has since grown to cover more than 1,600 acres. Several neighborhoods were forced to evacuate, including one man whose neighbors knocked on his door just after 3 a.m. Sunday morning, telling him he needed to get out.
You know, I was like, wow, I think I need to evacuate.
And today we learned 3 members of the Williston Fire Department and Barnwell County Fire Coordinator have joined crews in Horry County fighting this fire, as well as 2 brush trucks. The South Carolina National Guard has deployed 2 Blackhawks and 1 helicopter to help support firefighting efforts there.
Here at home, local fire crews have had their hands full over the last 4 days. They were at least 4 fires in Aiken County, including one in North Augusta, another near Graniteville Elementary, one on Wrdw Road, and 2 acres were scorched on Quartz Lane. In Augusta, a brush fire Friday damaged at least one home on Milledgeville Road, which we brought to you on the air, breaking news. Another brush fire threatened homes in the Haines Station community. Right now, South Carolina is under a red flag fire alert because of the higher risk of wildfires. The South Carolina Forestry Commission is blaming dry conditions, low humidity, and of course those gusty winds.
Yeah, and your first alert meteorologist Emily Acton is live at 5 here in the weather at the pano here for us. Emily, these conditions allow fires to quickly spread out of control, like we just listed. We saw so many just last week and over the weekend as well.
Yeah, definitely so. Weather plays a major factor in that fire risk, and we are seeing really just the best combinations for those fires to spread. And so, again, our humidity levels are very low right now, so that means it is very dry out there. Thankfully, those surface winds have calmed down, but this weekend, we did have those wind gusts pretty windy out there, and that kind of helped move those fires along. So for those fires to spread, it has to have dry vegetation, low humidity, and those wind gusts there. So that's kind of what has aided these wildfires to break out. And for a wildfire to start, you have to have that proper fuel, and that is dry conditions like brush or even prairie grass is another one that is pretty common there, but you have to have that fuel, oxygen, and that source of heat. So that can be a cigarette being thrown out. That could be somebody burning something in their yard and it gets out of control. Anything like that can lead to a much bigger wildfire like what we are dealing with over in South Carolina right now. So the best thing you can do is listen to your local EMA office and make sure that you have a way to get any watches and warnings, and make sure that you evacuate and give yourself plenty of time. Because these fires do spread quickly. We had a prescribed burn that we were a part of just last week, and I got to see firsthand how quickly these fires can spread. So just make sure that you are heeding those warnings and getting out there. It is going to be very windy tomorrow, so this is going to be another factor that we're adding into it.
Good advice. Yeah, these can spread so fast. They can jump 4 lanes of traffic. Super scary. Good advice. Thanks for that. Lawmakers pushing for protections to stop or delay mining near the state's Okefenokee Swamp. The Okefenokee is one of the world's largest freshwater ecosystems.
Your Georgia State House reporter Abby Kasoris talks to people who live and work around the swamp.
In the heart of South Georgia, you'll find the Okefenokee National Wildlife Refuge, spanning 400,000 acres. Each year, more than 400,000 people visit the swamp. Tourism, the economic driver for the surrounding counties.
Is there any objection to the
Reverend Antoine Nixon trading the idyllic paradise to advocate on behalf of it at the state capitol.
We were called to stewardship in the book of Genesis. When Adam was called to till and to maintain the Garden of Eden. And Okefenokee to me is like a special place like that.
Mining companies eyeing the mineral-rich Trail Ridge. Like the lip of a bathtub, Trail Ridge, a natural barrier holding water in the swamp. Rena Peck with Georgia River Network fears messing with Trail Ridge would mess up the swamp's equilibrium.
There's times when we have to cancel our trips because the water's so low.
House Representative Darlene Taylor sponsoring 2 bills. One, a compromise bill, a 5-year moratorium on mining. The other, known as the Okefenokee Protection Act, would ban mining on Trail Ridge.
I'm just here to advocate for objectiveness, private property rights. Everybody should have their day to be heard.
Drew Jones, Charlton County Commissioner, arguing in favor of mining. This summer, he showed us the county's shuttered hospital, saying the county's tax digest is in desperate need of a boost.
And our problems remain. We have local needs. People want longer library hours. We got broken sidewalks or trip hazards. We've got all these local needs that our problems remain whenever they go.
We're nearing crossover day, which is a crucial midway point. These mining bills will need a vote by the committee and a vote in the House, or else they'll effectively be done. They can only be taken up next year. In Atlanta, I'm Abby Kasoris.
Thank you, Abby. St. Patrick's Day is right around the corner, and the city of Savannah is getting ready to go all out. And yeah, so is law enforcement. After the break, how officials are preparing to make sure people can celebrate in peace. Riley?
Oh, yeah, Mission Day. First Alert Wednesday, going to be a windy day, and also the chance maybe for some severe storms as we wake up early Wednesday morning. Have an update on the forecast just after the break.
Time and temp, brought to you by your First Alert weather team.
The weather. It's something that affects us all every day. from sunny to severe and anything in between. This is why we First Alert.
It's bow time. Gray Digital Media. We know local. Let's connect today. GDMAugusta.com.
Getting enough sleep, that is something everyone would love, right?
Yep.
But if you're one of the millions of Americans who struggle with falling asleep or waking up in the night, you know that is way easier said than done.
Yeah, your consumer tech reporter Jamie Tucker has a sleep app that could help you.
The next time you're having trouble falling asleep, don't count sheep. Count the number of sleep apps in the app stores, like 100 of them. But many people say this one is the best. But people are raving about this app called Better Sleep. And here's what it does. There's a fairly large library of sleep sounds that help you fall asleep. All shades of white noise and everything from wind and palm trees to a metro train to ASMR sounds like writing, bubble wrap, and slime. Now what's different is you can combine these sleep sounds, sheep walking and sticky slime, for example, and then add some background music. There are bedtime stories and meditations, and it provides reminders to wind down before bed and alarms to gently wake you up. The app uses the device microphone to determine when you fall asleep, and you can also connect your Apple Watch for more accurate sleep tracking. You can see how much REM sleep you're getting on average and how much of the night you spend in deep sleep. Sleep Better can also use a microphone to record any snoring or sounds during the night. Yep, I do snore sometimes, and it could be helpful information for your doctor. If all that sounds good, Sleep Better is a free app with very limited features. A full version with all of the features is $60 a year. There is a 7-day free trial, maybe I should say a 7-night free trial. I'm Jamie Tucker, and Better Sleep is the app of the day.
Okay, we finally have our bracket filled out for girls and boys basketball in South Carolina. Denmark Olar boys have already punched their ticket.
And the only team left standing in the 4A in both the girls and boys division is North Augusta. Our sports team is live, bringing us the latest from Florence.
Guys, this is pretty exciting. This is the first time that both the boys and the girls teams have played in the Final Four together, let alone play right after one another. Joe Dorian is live for us in Florence. Joe, girls game just got over about an hour ago. Boys should be wrapping up right now, right?
Yeah, the North Augusta girls basketball team in the Final Four is not something that is very uncommon. This is actually the 8th time in the last 10 seasons that the Yellow Jackets have been in the Final Four. Right now, the boys game is going on, but let's get to the girls game. This is what happened earlier. The Lady Yellow Jackets taking on Logan Richland. Maybe a little bit of rust on both teams because it was a sloppy 10-5 lead to North Augusta after the first quarter. Selena Grant helped the Yellow Jackets build a 9-point lead at the half. Lower Richland not letting their season end that easily. The Diamond Hornets got within 5 in the fourth quarter, but North Augusta did what they do, and that's win another game. 42-34 over Lower Richland, capturing the 4A Lower State title and a spot in the big game this weekend.
I think it says an awful lot. Lower Richland has a very, very good basketball team, and they have a very good offensive basketball team, so you're never secure, regardless of what kind of lead you have. So for us to be able to hold on and sustain that lead and be able to come back and finish the game, I just can't say enough for our team. I'm so proud of them. They did an awesome job.
As I said, the boys team is looking to capture a spot in that state championship game this weekend. They are 30 seconds away from joining the North Augusta girls team this weekend in the state championship. So we're going to bring you all the highlights from that game and much more tonight on News 12 at 6 o'clock. Melissa?
Joe, we are cracking up because I even saw a tweet earlier that there was going to be a lot of Wilson fans, but man, those North Augusta fans are loud. They are excited to see their team possibly make it to their first ever state championship appearance, and we can't wait either. Selena Grant, a junior on that team, told me before that they even started the season for the girls team that she wanted to feel like she deserved the state championship because last year they didn't play like it. And if you remember, their season came to an end one game shy of the semifinal last year against Westside. They could face them in the state championship on Friday. But exciting stuff out of Florence. We can't wait to hear more coming up all new on News 12 at 6 p.m.
I know. Best of luck to the Yellow Jackets out there tonight, and hopefully they bring home the ship for us. And remember, Wednesday we do have a First Alert in effect. Make sure you have our First Alert weather app downloaded. That's the best way to get the latest weather alerts in our area. I have another update for you on the forecast just after break.
Ready to liven things?
Welcome back, folks. Another look from our thermal dam cam. You can see over Clarks Hill Lake a pretty thick plume of smoke now moving across the lake. This was actually from a very large controlled burn in northern McDuffie County this afternoon, still ongoing and leading to a little bit of that smoky haze. Remember, for tomorrow, it gets a little bit breezier, gusts up to 30, and then that first alert is in effect Wednesday.
All right, thanks, Riley. Stick with us. We have more news, weather, and sports coming up after a short break on News 12 at 6 o'clock.
Introducing the First Alert Radar Network.
With up to 10 times the resolution of other local radars and technology that can pinpoint right down to your street.
First just got faster.
Bargain home event. Life isn't a whisper. It's a roar. It's about getting your hands dirty, taking risks that thrill, and planning the adventure that awaits the next day. Life is a precious, playful thing, which means it's our job to explore it, to nurture it, and preserve it, but also to let loose and enjoy it. Riverbanks Zoo and Garden. Live a wild